As a coach, there are many different skills that are required. The first one I've written about is communication skills. As a coach, they require good verbal and non-verbal communication skills. They should be loud and clear throughout to ensure that the participants can hear and know what's going on at all times. A coach needs to be confident in what they are saying to allow the participants to gain their trust and understanding of what is required to do. Good communication skills are required in a number of different situations, such as training situations, on the sideline when playing competitively, breaks during a game, such as half-time or quarter-time, and leading up to a game, before and after. Good organisation skills are also required of a coach. This is so they can always be prepared, for example having sessions planned with clear progression drills included. A coach must be punctual and set a good example to their participants, but also to be ready for the session and have set up beforehand, again setting a good example. The coach must have a good general knowledge of the sport so that the sessions they deliver can be of a good standard and the participants can gain their trust. They must also be confident in what they have planned to convey this to the participants. Time management is also a skill that is required of a coach. This is so that a coach must be able to manage the training sessions effectively and get different areas covered within a time limit so that they can improve before a next game or a next training session. A coach should also have knowledge of the capability of the participants and the group as a whole, so that they can plan the sessions and take the group effectively. An example of a coach with good communication skills is Anna Mays. She is the coach of the England women's netball team. Anna Mays requires good communication between the players to ensure that they are all aware of what is happening, so that they feel like they have a good bond between the coach. She is a good example of a good communication skills, as she can do this before, during and after playing, and also in training sessions. If Anna Mays was to bring in a new tactic, she ensures that all know what is going to happen and when this tactic is going to be used. This is important so that the players feel involved and they feel that they have a good team cohesion. An advantage of Anna Mays having good communication means that she is showing and giving enthusiasm to the participants, so they know what is going on at all times. Even if they're playing a tough opposition, Anna Mays manages to give good quarter-time talks to the participants. This means that they can increase their motivation and team performance as a whole. A disadvantage of Anna Mays not having good communication skills would mean that the team and coach relationship would not be there, and the players may feel demotivated because of this. An example of a coach with good organisation skills is Carly Martin. She is a non-elite netball coach. It is important for Carly Martin to have good organisation skills so that she knows what needs to be improved and what doesn't. She can also ask the participants for their input on this as well. This means that training sessions are always planned and ready. But due to the athletes being at a non-elite level, participants must trust her decisions. And from her being a previous netball player, this means that the players are able to do this. Through this, the participants are also to gain lots of new ideas and skills from her knowledge of sport. An advantage of Carly Martin having good organisation skills means that she is setting a good example to non-elite athletes who may aspire to become higher level athletes. This means that she is always prepared and participants are able to trust her decisions. However, a disadvantage of Carly Martin not having good organisation skills may mean that the participants are demotivated. As they are non-elite, they may not try as hard. An example of a coach with good time management skills is Tony Machino. This is Jessica Ennis Hill's coach. The reason that he has such good time management skills is that it's important for elite athletes to ensure that they are ready and prepared for large competitions such as the Olympics. An example of this is when Jessica Ennis Hill struggled with many injuries, and it was her coach's job to ensure that she was ready, prepared and at full fitness to compete in the 2014 Olympics. He did a great job of this and she went on to reaching a gold medal in her events. An advantage of him having good time management is that he knows Jessica Ennis Hill's capability and knows how hard she should be working. He put plans in place to get her to full fitness again for the Olympics. This shows that his time management skills were perfect. A disadvantage of him not having good time management skills would mean that the athlete may further or worsen their injury, which may lead to them not competing at all. Here, this table shows a comparison between different skills that a coach may require, but you can see that all coaches have different skill qualities but are all still very successful. There are many different qualities that a coach requires. The first one is knowledge of skills in sport. The coach should be able to understand the sport, the rules, techniques and skills that are required to play when teaching at any level of sport. They should also be able to know the appropriateness of certain skills and when they should be utilised. Coaches may have experience and qualifications that enable them to do the above well. It would also be good for a coach to be able to recognise and expose the opponent's weaknesses when playing sport competitively. This way they are helping the athletes to play to the best of their ability if they have not already recognised this. This will then lead to the coach being able to implement new tactics based on the team's strengths and weaknesses. This means that the individual's performances will increase dramatically and their techniques are going to be developed with the help of their coach. Another quality is knowledge of the laws. A main factor of this is knowledge of health and safety and legislations of the sport. A coach should always keep up to date with knowledge and development of sports. This can be done through the NGB. This then leads to adhering to regulations of equipment. The final quality is understanding of the participants' physical needs. By understanding the participants' physical needs, they should be able to consider past injuries, disability, first aid, differentiation and facilities. This will also help to develop the coach. When leading warm-ups and cool-down, it is important to understand the physical needs of some participants to ensure that injuries are prevented. Safety checks should also be done prior to the session and all fitness components should be met to meet the demands of the exercise and again to reduce the risk of injury to the participants and the coaches themselves. An example of a coach that has good knowledge of skills in sport is Roy Hodgson. He is the England men's football coach. He is a good example of this because he knows how to implement new skills and tactics even when at an elite level of coaching. He is able to recognise a player and opposition's weaknesses to play this to their advantage. An advantage of having knowledge of skills in sport is that the players are able to play to their best ability even with the help from their coach at an elite level. He is able to analyse the game well and play this to our advantage. However, a disadvantage of not having this may mean that team cohesion might decrease and therefore this means the overall team performance may decrease. An example of a coach that has good knowledge of laws is Steve Bailey. He is Ellie Simmonds' coach. He's a good example because swimming rules may often change as this can be considered a dangerous sport. This means he is always able to be checking for changes and allowing the athlete's performance to be at its best quality and level. An advantage of having this is that he can share the changes and information with his athlete before any competition so that they are able to practice anything needed before a major competition or just a friendly. The disadvantage of not having this is that the quality of the athlete's performance levels may decrease. An example of a coach that has a good understanding of participants' physical needs is Andy Flower. He is a cricket coach at an elite level. He is a good example of this because cricket is a long sport and therefore he is required to know and understand the participants' physical needs as a whole to ensure that they are staying fit and well. An advantage of knowing this is so he can tell when players may need a rest or when they are not working as hard as they should be. But however, a disadvantage of not having this is that the coach would not be able to know each individual athlete's capability. Here, this table shows a comparison between different skills that a coach may require, but however you can see that each skill qualities are still allowing the coach to be very successful.